The rug was pulled out from underneath her. She didn't feel confident. She didn't know if she could make it. Yet she rose like the phoenix, leading herself and her family into a new beginning. And you can too. Are you ready? The Kornelia Stephanie Show Lady Boss knows what women want: to be free to speak their voice, live in financial freedom, and build businesses that radiate wealth, leaving legacies we can be proud of. Join Kornelia, Dana, and Chris the first and fourth Friday every month as they raise the roof to inspire confidence in all women. Welcome, everybody. You're here at the Kornelia Stephanie Show, and I'm with my co-host, Miss Chrissy D.
Hi.
Chrissy. Hi, how are you, honey?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited to be here today. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be one power-packed show. We've got a great, awesome, hot conversation today.
Yes, we do. Right? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Because what we're going to talk about is you wrote the show notes and you said that can't happen. It's against the law. Wrong. It can and it does. Just because it's against the law doesn't mean it's not going to happen to you. In the meantime, you have to be in a position to not only take care of yourself while this is going on, but you will also need either money for a lawyer to figure it out, or for you to be able to figure it out and prove your innocence. And you write this all while you're going through hell. Right? Because that's what happened to you, Miss Chrissy D. So let's, just a small, give the audience just a small recap. Show 1, show 2, we're on show 3.
Well, basically, my story is I'm going along my married life and having ups and downs like everybody, and came home one day 2 days before Christmas, and my whole world fell apart. I had set the table for Christmas dinner and came home, the dining room set was gone. My stuff was on the floor. My son's stuff was gone. It was an absolute nightmare. As the days went on, I realized bank accounts were gone. Bank accounts were empty. Credit cards were up. The whole thing was an absolute nightmare. And going to what people say about things, oh, that can't happen, it's against the law. There's nothing to hold anybody accountable anymore. One example, bank accounts. Eventually I had a court order that neither one of us were allowed to touch money from a business account. And we had things in place that this was a corporate account. It needed 2 signatures, but yet when I went to the bank one day, the money was still all gone. And the bank account had been moved. And I literally spent months fighting with this huge international bank. And they actually eventually say things to you like, go ahead and sue us. We have a panel of lawyers that you won't be able to compete with. And they're right. So things really can happen that are against the law. I've been to court so many times that things were not allowed, but yet they were allowed anyway. The rules absolutely were not followed.
Yeah, and basically you didn't have the money, you didn't have the resources because everything was taken from you. And that's what makes this so tragic, is that you were going along your married life and all of a sudden you found out that everything that you had built, the beautiful life that you had built with your husband, you had children in the marriage, and everything that you had built was taken from you overnight. And the reason why we're here talking about this all is because your mission is to empower women to not let this happen to you, because it could be gone by the blink of an eye. But not just that, not just by the tragic story of what happened to you when your husband just all of a sudden decided to leave you and take everything with him. Not just that, we're talking about if there's a death in the family, one of the husband dies or whatever. It doesn't matter what the situation is, because we're talking about you being empowered, you women being empowered, so that you know what's going on. And that's the conversations that we're having right now. And to make sure that you have money in the bank and you know where things are. And Miss Chrissy D is here to talk to us about everything that happened to her. You can go back and listen to the past shows. If you're hearing this for the first time, today's the third show that we've done on this. If you want to go back and listen to the previous two shows, go back to Kornelia Stephanie YouTube. And then you're going to see the podcasts that are there with Miss Chrissy D. And I think the first show was called From the Backseat of My Car, something like that. Chrissy, do you
From
remember?
married life to the backseat of my car.
Yeah. From married life to the backseat of my car. And then the second show was, do you remember what that one was?
I think those were the same two. And then the third one last time we did was the crap or the kit.
The
We
crap.
talked about showed all the legal papers that I had to deal with without a lawyer, while the equity of my house was being spent or used for him to secure a lawyer.
Now, listen
Because
to, yeah, go ahead.
this is something that not only people don't know. I had to talk to 3 lawyers before I found a lawyer that knew that this was okay. So where I live, it's legal to put a mortgage on your house without your permission or knowledge. What they're allowed to do, to my understanding, is sever the title and put the mortgage on their half, which I had added his name to the house. So, but what had happened was it got attached to the whole house. So now I couldn't use my equity now that all my money was gone. I couldn't even use my equity to secure a lawyer. So my equity went to secure a whole legal team that fought against me in court, month after month after month after month, serving me papers that I had to figure out all the time. It was horrible.
And you know
Nobody
what?
could go through that.
Yeah, oh my God. And this is like, it's such an outrage, right? I mean, it's like really, it's just such an outrage, because if people knew the backstory, that's why y'all have to go listen to the other two, is it other 2 or 3 shows we've done?
Great.
3. Listen to the other 3 shows, because you're going to really hear the story about what Miss Chrissy D went through in her life and how this all unfolded. Because you'll hear that it was actually her empire. It was actually her house. It was actually all her money. It wasn't money that it was her credit. It was all her money that she had already brought.
This is what I had brought into the relationship. Absolutely.
It's not like this was given to her. This was already her foundation that she already brought in, and then added her husband onto all of the documents, right? And then he took it all, and it all turned against her, and then she went from married life to the backseat of her car. And the reason why this is so important, ladies, is because we have to speak of these things out loud in the open, so we can educate and empower others. That if you're going through something like this, or even if you're not, even because we're going to have somebody on the show today that she's in a great marriage with a great relationship and a wonderful everything, but she is empowering herself to make sure that she knows where everything is, because you just never know what's going to happen. And that is, what do you call that? Prevention? What do you call that? Empowerment? What do you call that?
All of that, everything. It's empowerment, absolutely, because it's our stuff and we need to know what's going on with our life. And I mean, people that know me, I'm a strong person. I'm a very efficient, strong person. I'm not lazy. I'm a go-getter, and I know what's going on. And if this can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. It really can.
And you're also an entrepreneur, and you've been building businesses, your whole successful life. And so you know what it takes to build a business, because you did that with your husband. So no, you're not lazy, because in order to be an entrepreneur in today's world and build a business, it takes a lot, because most people that don't reach the 100K mark per year, um, they're destined to fail. That's why it's important for women to really embrace their relationship with money and really, build a solid foundation so you can move beyond that 100K mark if you want to scale and if you want your business to thrive, because things are going to come up. Things are going to come up, right? And it's just too hard when you're not at least making 100K comfortably. And I mean, this is just a side note. Side note. Sorry,
And I really want women to understand, don't don't count on the law. Don't count on all of that stuff and think, oh, that can't happen. It might be against the law. Murder is against the law, but it still happens, and you have to survive in that time. So all these things that you think can't happen, you need to figure out, am I going to be able to survive in the meantime when it happens, until it's sorted out? And yeah, you really need to be prepared. That's why the kit is so important.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the kid. But you know what, Miss Chrissy D, I just want to just skip the first break because I feel like we're on a flow right now, and we're just gonna keep going right through the break today. Because I want to talk about, like, okay, what happened to you was like a really tragic story, okay, and not everybody is gonna go through that, right? But like, who, first of all, who who else would this be for? So the kit, because what we're talking about is the pink files. Tell us a little bit about the pink files, what it is, and who else would this be for? Because as you know, you and I, when we met the other day, talking about this show and how we can really hone in the message, I was telling you that I think everybody needs to have this kit. And there's not a lot of things, in the world where I would say everybody needs this. But I truly believe that everybody, every woman, every young millennial, every household needs to have this kit that
Absolutely.
that Chrissy created. Every household, not just the women, but also the men. So,
Yeah. I,
but
I have a son. I want my son to have it. I have daughters. I want everybody to have it. If you, everybody right now that's watching this, really think about what's important to you. For me, my home, my house was so important to me. I worked for it my whole life. But why was it important to me? It was important because I'm the type of person that I always want to have a safe haven for everybody. So to me, this was like I had arrived. This was my spot in the world where I belonged and where I could always take care of my family, my spouse, my friends, whoever needed a safe place. This was that. And I didn't protect it properly. I didn't realize I had to protect it. I had neighbors one night. They had people in the basement suite, and there was a big fight. And the man kicked the door in, and she had kids upstairs. She didn't even hesitate to pack the kids up in their pajamas and blankets in the middle of the night and come running over and banging on my door. And I had the space, and we put all the kids in with all of my kids, and they went to bed for the night, and they got up and they had breakfast, and they could do that because I had that safe haven, and everybody knew that about me. So we need to really think about what's important to us, why we work so hard for it, and that's why we need the pink files to be able to protect that. It's worthy of protection. You've worked your whole life for it, for a purpose, for a reason.
Yeah, I want to give the audience, I want to give, it's beautiful. I love that safe haven. And I got the image and the visual of your neighbor coming over and you pulling her in. And really, that's why I so appreciate you doing this work right now so that we can empower every household to have one of these kits. That's what we want to do. We want to empower everyone to have one of these kits. So um, let's talk about what's in the kit. What's in the kit? What is the kit about? Let's talk about what the kit is about, and let's talk about that.
The, when you build the kit, when you order your kit, you're gonna build, you're gonna have all of your basics, and then you're gonna put in there what's important to you. Everything that you've worked for, everything that your spouses worked for, everything that you guys are gonna join together, however it is, you need to have everything in one safe, easy, accessible place. I think it also empowers women because I didn't realize at the time. So I had all of that stuff, but it was all over the house. It was in my storage room downstairs. Some of it was under the bed in the guest room. Some of it's in a filing cabinet in my office. I think if I'd have had it in the pink files, I actually would have realized everything that I had accomplished and given myself a little bit more credit, and I would have maybe valued myself and realized the worth of what I had built in all those years, the 45 years that I had worked. And I think that's really important for women because we don't value ourselves as much as we should. The world doesn't value what we bring to the world enough. And maybe we need to start doing it by simple things like putting it right in front of us in a box that goes, wow, this is a reminder. Look at everything I've done. And most people are not going to go through what I go through. And let's hope people never have to open it. Then it's just a wonderful memory box, like I said before, that when you pass away, your kids are going to have to deal with it. Everything's going to be there in one nice, easy place for them. And it's going to be good memories of what you've worked for your whole life, which is why this is for everybody. Absolutely everybody should have this. It started because of my story, but this is about everybody knowing their worth, their value, what they have, and being able to look after it.
So if you, ladies and gentlemen, especially ladies, are ready to order your kit, we would be so happy to start taking names, because right now what we're doing is we have almost everything ready to go. You can go take a look at Miss Chrissy D's website. What can you tell us exactly the URL on how to get to your website, Miss Chrissy D?
MissChrissyD.com.
Miss Chrissy D. It's Chrissy with two S's, right? And a Y.
CHRISSYD.com.
MissChrissyD.com. So you can go there, and very soon we are the kit will be for sale right there on the website. We're still working out some tweaks and some kinks. Now, how much is the kit going to go for, Miss Chrissy D?
$29.95 Canadian.
Okay, $29.95 Canadian. Now, do you know how much that is in the US?
Way less.
Way less. Wow. Okay,
I don't know.
That's cool.
Yes. Yes. I don't know what it works out to American, but you know what? I wanted to really keep it at a easy price point so that this is available to everybody, no matter what your income is. Oh,
she's telling us what
$20 US.
$20 US. That's a steal, because we've had some people tell us that this product, what are you selling this for? $120, $150? So
Yeah.
it's a steal, and you're going to hear more about it. But certainly go to Miss Chrissy D's website, misschrissyd.com. Familiarize yourself, and also, contact us either on Facebook. You can contact me and start, reserving your kit, and to have it so that when it comes, when it's ready to go, that you can access it and get it, so that you can have everything you need right directly in front of you, so that you can be empowered and build a legacy that with you in charge, with you at the
Yeah.
helm, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, for everybody. And you know what? There's so many of us that think we don't need it. If you'd have asked me 15 years ago, I would have thought that I wouldn't need it. So my ex is a musician. There was always at gigs and that. There's always women that like the musicians, and they always had the musicians. That's what they deal with, is women hitting on them and doing all kinds of crazy things. And I used to joke, and I would say, okay, but he came to me with a guitar and a desk. That's what you get with if he's going with you. I always thought he would dare. He would never do this after everything that I've done and helped. And I think most of us women think that after everything that we've done, from giving children and building a home and sacrificing so much, that this would never happen. And there might be women out there that think, oh, my husband's not smart enough to pull this off. Let me tell you, ladies, they have friends that are maybe going through stuff, and they want someone to hang out with and do it with. Like, don't think that they wouldn't do it, or they're not smart enough, or anything like that, because you just never know.
Well, and then there's that. And that's why I said, it could be a situation like that. It could be a situation where your husband dies,
Yeah.
and we just don't know. It could be a situation where you pass away, and then you've got your children, you've got your husband, and the kit is all filled out and ready to go. When something tragic happens, ladies and gentlemen, the thing that we need to do, and this is what I see really with why this kit needs to be in every household. When something tragic happens, it takes so much of our energy to process the loss of the relationship, the loss of our loved ones. It takes so much emotion, the grieving, the crying, the processing, that the last thing that you want to fiddle with and have to deal with is to find legal documents and to find what it is that you need in order to keep going, like, paying the car payment, or where are things at. I mean, like, literally get your affairs in order, because when something tragic happens, when life happens, because life happens, when life happens, as life is happening, we have to, the more that we can have our ducks in a row, if you will. That's why, when they say to have a living will, and to really know what's going to happen when a loss occurs, is to really make sure that you're okay. And the beautiful thing about Miss Chrissy D's kit is it's affordable. You'll get everything in one kit about what you need. She has a shopping list in there. There's a PDF. There's a video that's going to walk you through it. And it's really a fun process. It's like you have your friend sitting there with you while you're gathering all these documents. And also, for those young folks that are just getting married, this is a perfect gift for a wedding, to give to people that are just getting ready to get married, so that they can start out sitting at the table together, to
Yes.
create this together and have an open dialogue and discussion about these documents and what's important. I'm working with somebody right now that is in a relationship, that if the person dies, she doesn't know what's going to happen to her, even though she's in the relationship. And so she doesn't know. So there's so many people that are
Yeah.
like this, that have this going on. And it could be anything like that. But let's just remove the husband completely out of the way. Let's remove the men. And you're a woman, you're on your own, and you're by yourself, and you're living your life. You need the kid too, because it doesn't even have anything to do with the husband. It has to do with you. It has to be
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. If there's a fire, you want to be able to pick up what you have and get out the door. There's so many reasons why you need it. Like I said, for your kids as well, right? There's, yeah. And going back to the husband and wife and the wedding gift, I say now every wedding shower I'm going to, that's what they're going to get. I think it is powerful for the couple. I think it'll actually make it stronger. I like to believe that if I'd had this kit, it would have made it, what's the word? It would have made it that the other person knows, okay, we've got all of this in order. Maybe they wouldn't have challenged it and gone up against it because they knew there was no point. The truth and the proof is all right there.
Yeah.
So maybe it makes you work harder because you see everything that you've built and you're going to see everything that you lose. And there's not going to be a winner there. So let's all work together.
Yeah, but you know what though? I know that there's so many women out there that feel like, "Oh, I shouldn't bring this up. I shouldn't talk about it because I don't want him to think that I'm not trusting him, and I shouldn't talk about." So there's all these things, these feelings that need to
I've had
be.
women say that.
Huh?
I've had women say that to me. I asked my husband, and they're like, the husband will be like, "Don't you trust me?" So it's a challenge for both because now the husband's feeling like, "What? I've always looked after this. Why don't you trust me?" And the woman is like, "Well, it's not about trust. It's about I need to know what's going on in our family, in our relationship, in our life, so that if a tragedy does happen to either of us, the other one is prepared to deal with it in the calmest, easiest way possible."
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's just one of these almost, preventative things. It's like a really smart way to uh, secure your home. So whether you're in a relationship or not, whether you're in a marriage or not, this kit needs to be in every household so that you can really be, in charge of these are my documents. You have your kit. If there's a fire, if there's a loss, if there's anything that's going on, that you can pick up that box, maybe put some pictures and some images in there that are important to you. And that when they say, when there's a fire and it's time to get out of the house, what do you grab? You have everything in that one file and put some photos in there, put some other things in there, and have your file together. I mean, people can be creative with it, but at least you gave them an excellent template to make it easy to get started on this. So I'm just absolutely loving how far we've come, Chris, with this whole conversation and where we are, because you really experienced, like I said from the beginning, the ultimate betrayal story. When I met you in January and you told me this story, or it was actually late December, you told me this story. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. And that's why I was like, you've got to be on the radio. You've got to get this out. And here we are. It's been amazing. And it's been in an eight months of working together and getting this all dialed in. And now you've almost got your kit ready to go, ready to be sold. We're taking orders. We're kicking ass and we're taking names. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So let's take a break on the Kornelia Stephanie Show with Miss Chrissy D, my co-host, and we'll be right back.
Are you an entrepreneur who's struggling to be seen? Do you know deep in your gut that if you could just be seen and get your message out, that you'd easily reach your tribe? How wonderful would it be if a fairy godmother came along, waved her magic wand, and suddenly you were more than visible? You were dazzling. Would you sign up for that? Hi, I'm Deborah Lupien, spiritual teacher and international best-selling author of Akasha Unleashed, the Missing Manual to You. I'm here with the wonderful news that such a person actually exists. Her name is Kornelia Stephanie, and she's gifted at helping entrepreneurs become dazzling. I've watched her work her magic over and over to turn invisible entrepreneurs into dazzling stars who easily attract their ideal clients and have fun doing it. Not long ago, I was the recipient of her gift. As a guest on her show, Living Heaven on Earth, not only did we have fun, but Kornelia helped me get my message out to a wider audience, which resulted in a very nice spike of traffic to my website and more subscribers to my list. Did I mention it was incredibly easy? Kornelia's running a veritable media empire of uplifting programs. They cover a broad range of topics and have a large appreciative audience. That's a winning combination, folks. Guess what? Those shows need guests and hosts. Imagine, after guesting on a few shows, moving up to hosting your own popular show. That is absolutely possible for you. So now you have a decision to make. Are you going to keep struggling on your own, or are you going to sign up for some Kornelia Stephanie dazzling visibility magic? Email radio@korneliastephanie.com today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show with Miss Chrissy D today, my co-host, and we're talking about that the law doesn't always protect you. And there's just been so much to this amazing story. I want to remind everybody to go to Kornelia Stephanie YouTube and go look at the other three podcasts that we did with Miss Chrissy D to educate yourself and get yourself caught up to the show that we are today. So if you're listening to it for the first time, or you're just now catching us, we appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you listening. And if you're on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe, and also comment underneath the YouTube videos, because pretty soon what we're going to do is we're going to randomly pick people that comment underneath, and we're going to be giving gifts. And who knows, you may be winning a kit, you may be winning a prize, who knows what it is, but we're going to reward you for commenting. We're going to reward you for calling in. And we have a guest today. We have a guest that's calling into the show, and someone, Miss Chrissy D, that you are in communication with, and why don't you let us, tell us about her?
I've known her for a long time, and she's just a really nice, down-to-earth person, and she's in a good family, good relationship, and really sees the value in an understanding about getting your affairs in order and getting your pink on and your files.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So do you want to, let's welcome her. Lynn, welcome to the show. Welcome to Transformation Talk Radio. Yay.
Hi.
Hello. Hello. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, you sound good, Lynn.
Great. I've known Chris for a long time, and she was telling me about her pink files, and I thought, that is awesome. That is something I'd like to do. So I talked to my husband. He's on board. And so I went into his office thinking, I'm going to get this done. I have a couple hours. And oh my gosh, I was so overwhelmed by the amount of information there. And where was it? And I just actually sat down and think, I don't know where to start with this. This takes a long time to get it done. And while I was going through this information, I realized life insurance, medical, extended health, all stops when he retires. So that's just one more thing on your plate to deal with when you're supposed to be just kicking back and retiring.
Wow.
Yeah. So these are things that nobody realized, and she wouldn't have realized if she wasn't putting her pink files together. And she's doing all of this while things are good. There's no tragedy. There's nothing bad that has happened, and she's already overwhelmed and learning information.
Yeah. Lynn,
Yes.
we have some background information. Some background noise. So I'm feeling like if you would stay in one place and be still.
Okay.
And you sound really good right now. So
okay.
No moving around. Just stay in one place, and you sound really good.
All right.
I want to thank you so much for being courageous and calling in today. That means so much to us and our audience. I know that it takes courage to call in. So you noticed by putting your pink files together, by putting everything together, that you felt really overwhelmed and you were like, oh my gosh, you didn't even know where to start, right? And how did you feel? I'm curious about how did you feel when you first went to go talk to your husband about it?
I was really concerned that he wasn't going to handle it very well because he's always taking care of all the finances and everything. And I felt like a 50s woman that I didn't even know how to pay our bills. And what an uncomfortable place for me to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not only that, I have boys, so I've got them starting to put their stuff away so that when they need a bank statement or they need some information regarding their education, it's there and they can find it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you feel like, this whole process really opened you up and actually, like, were you listening earlier when Miss Chrissy D, when she was talking about that it actually strengthens the family's household? It actually strengthens everybody. Did you hear that? And do you feel that that is what's happening for you?
I think it empowers us. It takes the pressure off of my husband to be the only one that knows what's going on, as well as it empowers me that I am a part of it as well. That I don't have to do it behind his back. It's not a crisis situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the fact that she has boys and now she's getting her boys to do it, I love it. The pink files were birthed from my story. Having said that, they are really for everybody. I love the fact that boys are also doing it. We want everybody to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just for women. That's why it needs to be in every household. And this is what Chrissy called them, the pink files, because pink is for power, right? That's what it stands for.
Power and knowledge.
Power and knowledge. So it's really about empowerment. Like you said, Lynn, it empowered you to go have a conversation with your husband and for you all to look at everything. And for you, what it brought up for you is that you felt like, gosh, you felt like a 50s woman where you really didn't even know where everything was. And what it did is it took the pressure off of your husband to that he doesn't have to be the one to have all of it, but that the whole family is involved.
And
right. And another thing, everyone talks about an emergency preparedness kit. This is a vital part of your emergency preparedness kit, because if you're running out the door as the fire is raging down the hill, you need this.
Yeah. Where are you right now in the process? Because I understand that you really just began. So I think, what did you begin about a month or so ago with your kit?
I started a couple weeks ago, and I've got as far as getting the labels together. And I know where the information is. I just have to go in and get it out and copy it.
Okay, so pretty much because the reason why I'm asking is that I want to make sure that the audience understands it takes time, and that's why having the kit is so helpful, because if you have a checklist and you know exactly what you need to look for and what you have to do, then going to find that information and putting that kit together it's going to just take a little bit of time, but having it already there, a template. So you're about 2 weeks in, you started about 2 weeks ago, and you discovered that if you didn't do your organization on the files right now, that what if something happened to your husband, that you wouldn't be part of the life insurance. Is that right?
No, I would be part of the life insurance until he retires, which is coming up. And I didn't realize that we would have to make arrangements to replace that security that we have.
Oh my, that's so huge.
Think about if retirement party and God forbid something bad was to happen the next day. All of a sudden, nothing would count. Nobody would be covered.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
wouldn't
I
have,
mean, that,
she wouldn't
that,
have known.
that's so huge. How long have you been married, Lynn?
22 years.
Congratulations. And it sounds like you have a great husband, awesome husband that has been taking really good care of the family.
He's done an awesome job. I have a great family.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like you have a wonderful, strong husband. And how old are your boys?
19, 20, and 30.
Oh my God, you sound so young.
Well, I am.
You are.
You know?
Absolutely. Totally.
I love how Lynn said she was nervous to talk to her husband, and he was like, oh, okay, there's all the stuff. I think that's a really big message for women, because women, if they don't have this done, probably part of it is because they're nervous about approaching their husband. And here's a perfect example of it's okay and it worked out great, and the whole family's coming together and doing it. And no matter what happens, if nothing happens, great memory box. If something does happen, everybody in the family will be able to take care of things.
Yeah, that's so powerful. So
Yeah.
how long do you think, Lynn, before you are complete with your kit where it's really done? What do you think? It's going to take another couple weeks before you feel really good about everything? Or what do you think?
I just have to sit down and get to it. It would probably take me a couple days of photocopying to get everything in line.
Okay, so that's really where it is. So it's just good to know, because what we want to do is we want to let people know it's going to take a little while, but you want to be able to go through your documents. You want to have the discussion, make it a family affair. Make it a family affair. Call in the family. Order pizza. And just have fun, put some music on, and just have fun putting it together. It doesn't have to be a heavy drag out thing, but it could be, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be done in the dark. Bring it to light and make it happen.
Good. I like that, Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it teaches our kids from an early age how to be prepared, how to value what you or what everybody has worked for, and see it, know it, and teach it.
Yeah. So Lynn, stay with us. We're going to take a break on the Kornelia Stephanie Show. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Charlene Hess, and I want to share with you my wonderful experience of choosing to use Kornelia Stephanie as my life coach. My life is so different now from where it was when I began working with her in 2011. At that time, I was in a dysfunctional marriage. I had my own business. I was raising 2 children and completely dead inside. After working with Kornelia, I began to gain confidence. I began to learn and understand how to use my emotions in my life. I learned how to process the emotions that were stored in my body, the ones that I thought that I had already worked through in my 12 years of counseling prior to working with her. The process that she had taken me through of using my emotions to heal my life, to use my anger to find peace, was absolutely incredible. I have been working with her one-on-one for many years now, and even though I am in a place now where I am thriving in my life, I still refer to Kornelia as my coach, and I still work with her on an ongoing basis where we're always checking in and keeping me accountable in my growth. After working with her for many years, I decided to go through her wholeness certification coaching program, and it has absolutely been an amazing process. I now am a certified empowerment coach, and I got certified through her program, and I am taking clients and helping them to find the empowerment in their lives. One of the things that I love about Kornelia is that she taught me that I am the authority in my own life. And that was a really difficult experience to go through, because it was really fighting against all of the dogma and programming that was so ingrained in my brain that all of the authority is outside of me. But as I began to understand and believe and adopt and know the truth that I am the authority in my life is when everything in my life started to shift and change. I became responsible for my decisions. I became responsible for creating a life that I love. And now I'm here in this amazing, beautiful place, living a life of so much happiness and joy. And no matter what life throws at me, I have the tools to be able to approach everything from a place of empowerment. And now I have the ability to help other people do the same. So working with Kornelia has absolutely been the best decision that I've ever made in my life. It has taken me from a life of absolute misery and given me the tools to be able to have a life of absolute, complete joy. So I cannot recommend working with her enough. I hope that you decide to choose to have her as your coach. Go through her empowerment coaching program, go through her wholeness certification, and I guarantee you won't regret it.
We're back. You're listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show with Miss Chrissy D and our very special guest, Lynn, on the show today. And we're really talking about getting our pink on, getting our power on, getting our kits ready so that we can be prepared for when life happens to us. So, Lynn, I just want to thank you so much for being so courageous today, for coming on and for, sharing a little bit about your own personal situation where you went and you talked to your husband and how you discovered some things and that actually probably saved you a ton of money and a ton of time if something ever took place. But you're empowering yourself, you're empowering your life, you're taking some pressure off of your husband, and you're making sure that when he goes into retirement that you guys are all taken care of and that you have all of your files organized. And so thank you for coming on and for sharing that with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yes. Wonderful. So, Miss Chrissy D, what do you want to leave the audience with today? Let's tell everybody again about where they can find the kit. When is it going to be available? How much does it cost? Who is it for?
Yeah, so again, I want everybody to remember to think about what you've worked for, what's really important to you, and that you need to have all of that stuff protected and organized. You go to misschrissyd.com and you can get the PMK files. It is for absolutely everybody. It's for men, it's for women, it's for families, it's for single people, it's for your friends, it's for your aunt, it's for everybody that wants to be organized so that no matter what happens in life, you're going to be able to be as prepared as you can be. And the other thing is, once these are done, it's going to take that nagging feeling in the back of your head or in your gut that I think a lot of us have because we worry about when something happens. This way you can just put everything together and you know it's done. You know everything that you can do to protect yourself or to protect your family. It's all done and it's ready to go. So go to misschrissyd.com and get your pink on and make sure you tell your family and friends too as well. Your girls and your boys.
Yeah, and definitely we have to make a page on your website that has it, like if you want it for a gift. So to give the suggestion that if you're going to a wedding and rather than getting the regular, toaster or buying gifts that people, all those kinds of gifts, buy a gift like this that really starts the foundation off a wonderful way where both parties can come and sit at the table in equality and talk about putting their financial affairs in order and knowing where everything is in one file. So that's a powerful.
How great would that be to come together in a marriage or in a relationship and everything's all right there so you can, both of you can feel really good about it.
Yeah,
I think
that's a really, really cool gift. It's a really, really cool gift. Definitely we have to make that suggestion on the website so that people can come there and that it's people get sent.
And I want people to share it. Eventually, hopefully soon, it'll be that you can buy two and get half off the second one so that you can share it with a girlfriend or your son or your father or your mother. It's like, let's get this done. Let's make it easy for everybody. What a relief that would be.
Yeah. I mean, Chrissy's story was really, like I said, it was the ultimate betrayal story. And not everybody, thank God, has to go through that. Because behind the scenes, we knew that this was all about Chris claiming her empowerment. On the bigger picture, why did all of this happen to her is really for her to really fully step into her empowerment as a sovereign being, as a woman, and really fully step into it. And that's what this experience I see was about for you, right? But not everybody has to go through this kind of experience in order to, be empowered. And we don't have to wait until the shit hits the fan before we take action. We want to make sure that we've got our affairs in order. When my stepfather was dying, they gave him 6 months. They gave him 6 months to live. And then, he went home and he organized everything to make sure that my mom was going to be okay when he was gone, and that she didn't have to worry about any of these things. But that's only when we're given that you've got 6 months to live. And a lot of times when life happens, we don't know when somebody's going to pass away. We don't know when all of a sudden the relationship is over. We don't know what happens when it's going to happen. And the message of today is to really be prepared and make sure that you know where things are, because that's going to put you in charge of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just financial stuff. It's all the things that are important to you. It's all the things that make your life work and run, and things that everybody's going to need to deal with.
Yeah. So go to MissChrissyD.com and take a look around. You'll see that the kit, we should be, it should be ready for purchase here within the next week. We're still working some kinks out and everything. And, contact us on Facebook Private Messenger if you want to order your kit already, and put in your pre-orders now. And we're really excited.
They can go to the Miss Chrissy D PMK on Facebook. They can also send me an email if they want at misschrissydaliveandwell@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's a good one. And go to Kornelia Stephanie YouTube. Sign up to receive whenever we load a new show and we put a new show out, that way you're alerted to, okay, there's a new show, because we're always going to be offering gifts and support and techniques and various ways that we can support you. And if you comment underneath the video, then you're going to be a winner for something. We're going to randomly pick people. We're still discovering as we go along, and that it's just really fun. So now that we've got all the products almost all ready to go, here we go. We're getting ready to launch it out and get that kit. So if you're part of an organization, you have an organization and an organization of women, this will also be a powerful kit for all of those people there.
Absolutely. And I would love to come and speak to some of these groups. And I would love to hear more women like Lynn phoning in or emailing, talking about these great positive stories that are coming out of it.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Miss Chrissy D. See you next time. Okay, take good care.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, Lady Boss, Women Inspiring Women, featuring leading-edge entrepreneurs who are putting the focus on empathic leadership in today's modern-day world. Text the word Kornelia to the number 22828 and receive her weekly newsletters. For more information on Kornelia Stephanie and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to KorneliaStephanie.com.